What is going on, Raptors Nation? It is Luca here back with another post-game video. Hope you're all doing well. The Raptors lose once again. They dropped their fourth straight game, and they lose to the Boston Celtics once again. As for the second straight season, the Celtics sweep the Raptors. Raptors fall in this one after returning home from their six-game West Coast trip, 105-96 the final. I'm going to talk about it. Before we dive right into it, do me a solid, everybody. Hit a like on the video, and also please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. The Raptors fall, and they are now 0-10 against the Atlantic Division. The Raptors might actually go winless against the division this season, guys. It is a realistic possibility at this point. The Raptors at home after that long road trip, taking on the Boston Celtics, best team in the East, arguably the best team in the NBA. The Raptors, they did make this a game. They kept things close. They actually, at one point, had a 7-point lead, but then the Celtics do what they do better than any other team. They responded in a big way, but then the Raptors made things interesting in that fourth quarter, getting the lead down to 4. But then the Boston Celtics ended up pulling this one out as Derek White, as he seemingly always does against the Toronto Raptors, hit a big-time clutch shot, big-time three-pointer to essentially put this game away for the Celtics, as this was a game, guys, where the Raptors' three-point shooting was absolutely terrible. 4 of 32 from 3, the Raptors were in this game. You're not beating the Boston Celtics shooting 4 of 32 from 3. Just unbearably bad, as the Raptors shot at 40% from the field, but you go up against the Celtics team that likes to take a lot of threes, and they hit a ton of them. It's going to be tough to win that ball game. Raptors made 4 threes, as I said, out of 32 attempts. Celtics made 16 out of 39. So the Celtics making 12 more threes than the Raptors in this game. And that basically offset the Raptors dominating the Celtics in the paint. The Raptors actually outscored the Celtics in the paint, guys, 60-28. But those three-pointers, that is going to make a huge difference. And the Celtics actually turned the ball over 13 times. Raptors turned it over 7. But the 3-ball was the main difference in this one. And then the star play for the Raptors was disappointing. I mean, you look at the Raptors starters in this one. Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, they did all they could. Both of them were solid. RJ Barrett, he was keeping the Raptors in this thing, putting the team on his back when the Raptors did make that run in the third to capture the lead. He had 24 points, 11-19 from the field, was 0-4 from 3, but 9 rebounds, 4 assists, continues to do a good job of getting downhill, getting to the basket, cutting. This type of offense that the Raptors are playing is really benefiting RJ Barrett as he bounced back in a big way after putting up just 4 points in that blowout loss against the Jazz. Emmanuel Quickley, he did have 21 points, did struggle from the field a little bit, 8 of 20, and then 2 of 7 struggling from 3, but Quickley, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Like I said, he and Barrett were really stabilizing the Raptors, but the star play for Toronto didn't do enough. You look at Siakam, 17 points, 5 of 15 from the field. He was 0 of 6 from 3. Siakam was terrible on defense, guys. Let's call it for what it is. I mean, Siakam to me in that first half looked like a guy who knew his time with this team was over. Because Siakam, he did get the points up a bit in that second half, but he didn't have a good game. Not hitting a 3. He did get to the line 8 times, which was probably the only positive thing he did in this game. But, defensively, he was not there. He did not have his focus, and he needed to do a much better job of being aggressive and, finding even more of his offense when the Raptors were trailing, but especially when they did have that lead. And I'm going to get to more about that in just a second here. And then Scotty Barnes, you look at him, 10 points, another low scoring outing. He was good defensively, but 5 of 12 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 13 rebounds, 2 steals. He did have 4 turnovers. Scotty Barnes, this is, another low scoring outing from him in the new year. And this is a game where Barnes is a good player, but he still has a long way to go in terms of being that, reliable all-star caliber player. Because Scotty Barnes, he tried to force a little bit too much, especially in that third quarter. Sometimes he tries too hard to make the flashy pass. And Scotty Barnes, he needed to try to find more of his offense, and he wasn't really getting himself going, and he did not look good at all in the final stretch of that third quarter. And that's going back to what I said about Siakam, where as soon as Barrett and Quickly checked out when the Raptors had their lead, it was Siakam, Barnes, Dennis Schroeder, McDaniels, and Thad Young. And that five-man rotation did not look good whatsoever. Scotty Barnes did not play well. Siakam wasn't aggressive either. And that's when the lead essentially evaporated. The Raptors definitely needed more from those two guys, because when you're going up against the best team in the league, who, by the way, were missing one of their stars in Jaylen Brown, you needed Barnes and Siakam to really be your two best players and set the tempo and set the pace. But Barnes never really got going offensively, nor did Siakam. And, you're not going to win a game like this when you don't have your best players playing at their highest level. As you look at Tatum, didn't even have the best of games. You only had 19. The biggest contributors in this one for the Celtics, Drew Holiday had 22, and Derek White, like I said, he was just huge. Again, hitting that big time three late in the game. So all five Celtics finished in double figures, but Porzingis didn't even play well. So this was a very winnable game for the Toronto Raptors, guys. I mean, Jaylen Brown didn't go. Tatum didn't have a typical Tatum game. I mean, he did have 14 rebounds and 6 assists, but I'm talking about offensively. We're used to seeing Tatum score 30 points like it's nobody's business. Even Porzingis, he did have an off game offensively. I mean, 12 of his 15 points came from the line. So, taking that into consideration here, the Raptors, you got good production from Quickly. You got good production from Barrett, unable to win this game. This was a very winnable game for the Toronto Raptors, and they weren't able to get it done as they lose to the Celtics once again. Schroeder had 13 from off the bench. Other than him, Raptors didn't get much bench play. And then I did forget to mention that Jonte Porter did get the start in this one. And although he only scored 2 points, was a -8, 1 of 5 from the field, did get into foul trouble, I thought he did do a good job defensively, especially inside. And he did have his moments. I mean, he did have a good defensive sequence against Derek Young that comes to mind. But yeah, the Raptors, they lose another one. And you know what? It's starting to feel like it's just going to be one of those seasons, guys. Look at where the Raptors stand right now. They are 10 games under 500. They have lost 4 games in a row. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's all doom and gloom, because it's not. I mean, the new look Raptors, talking about the new guys coming in alongside Barnes, for the most part, they have shown a lot of good things. This is just going to be about it being one of those years, this being a developmental phase, which Darko alluded to in some comments he made the other day, with a lot of growing pains. And that is going to be even more apparent post Siakam, because, I think it's safe to say Siakam even knows it at this point with the way he's playing. Like, it's only a matter of time until that divorce happens. I've stated many times it's not a good idea for the Raptors to bring Siakam back to max deal. So there's going to be more of this. The Raptors, they're not going to win a championship this season. They might not even make the playoffs again. Of course, the play-in is always going to give them a chance just because of how bad the bottom half of the Eastern Conference is. But this is a team that they do have a long way to go, and it's losses like this that proves it. So we will see how the Raptors respond now, guys. They've lost 4 in a row. They are back home. They're going to have 2 more at home before hitting the road once again. They're going to be taking on the Miami Heat on Wednesday. So we'll see how the Raptors bounce back after this loss. But let me know your thoughts of this game. Hit a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. Thanks so much for watching.